Cindy Shepard, a recycle artist, and I save everything. One of my favorite things to create are little art journals out of toilet paper rolls, and let me show you how to do that. First you take a toilet paper roll and you fold it. Then you take your scissors and you cut each side. This is going to become the cover of your little mini journal. And what I like to do to add a little bit of stability to it is to first I will cover it with a coat of gesso. Doesn't matter, just slap a little bit of that gesso on there. Try to cover most of the page. And then I will add some tissue paper. Now the gesso is going to act as glue, so I'm just going to lay it down, cover that with another layer of gesso. Maybe add 2 or 3 sheets of this. I've already pre-torn it into little small pieces. If it folds up on me, that's great. That just means more texture for my journal. The perfect thing for inside to make the pages for this, I found it to be adding machine tape. Hardly anybody uses these anymore. We've all got our iPods and other type of calculators, but if you have some of this, or you can buy it from the office supply store, it comes in a roll, and I will take it and measure about how long I would like for this to be. Then I'll begin folding, and I just keep folding till I've got it as thick as I'd like for it to be. And once I've got that folded, I will take my scissors and just start cutting. This way I've got one page, one folded page, but I've got 4 sides to work with. So I just cut those. Maybe I'll get to about 10. Now I can use adding machine tape as is, but again, one of my favorite things to do is gesso. So I will just start adding from my cover. I've still got some on my brush. I'm going to just dry brush a little gesso on. And I don't care if I get to all of the ends of the page, because my paint is going to react differently to the gesso versus just your basic paper. So once I've done the gesso and let that dry, I like 3 different types of product on one page. This is how I do my background pages. I love the golden fluid acrylics, and I use their glazing liquid, which makes the paint flow so beautifully. It's very easy to work with. Then for another addition to that page, I will take just your basic craft paints. But what you want to do with your brush is get a little bit of the glazing liquid and just a little bit of color. You can see how that's picking that up there. And then just keep the brush kind of dry. Maybe add a little bit of just basic color and just brush it on, or sometimes I'll use a cosmetic sponge. With this, you can see the difference between the gesso portion and the one that isn't, and I'll just keep working until it's pretty dry. Add a little bit of heightened, highlighted color here. Other times I'll just take my hand and love that effect. Maybe baby wipes or a paper towel would also work. And then these portfolio oil pastels are water soluble. I can use these on the page when it's wet or when it's dry. Might also dip these into a little bit of water, and then I'm going to begin adding some more highlights to my page. And even if that begins to take off some of my paint, that means I've got light and dark areas on the page. So that's cool too. I like that. Just come in here and add a little bit with my finger. Now normally, as I said, you can use these wet or dry. I actually prefer to use them when the paper is dry, but this is for demonstration purposes. Then I like that verdigris look, so I'm going to add a little bit of turquoise craft paint. And this again, I've got a real dry brush. Remember, this is a small page, so you don't need a lot of paint on your brush. But already this kind of has an antique effect. So once this dries, this is going to be great for all types of images and words. And I want to show you some of what you can add to your little mini journal. This is scrap paper. You can add scrap paper. I've used some of my products again, the golden and the craft paint. After that dried, I just went in and drew a little picture with a micron pen. Then you go back and you paint it. That makes a real cute little personalized page. On this one I did pretty much similar to what I did over on the demonstration page, and once that dried I took some wonderful tissue paper that had clocks on it and I had adhered that. On this one, this is one where you get to look for texture in found objects. This is the sleeve of a coffee cup. I used my portfolio crayon and then some craft paint on the coffee cup holder, and that makes a great texture for a page before you place images on it. This one is painted. Maybe it's, I think I put a little bit of bubble wrap on this one, but this was great for testing out my stamps. These journals, you know, you can make them anything you want to. If you've got a lot of stamps and they're small, each page can be a different stamp for you to refer to. These pages are where I get to add all my little bits and pieces of sheet music or books or images. If you do a lot of collage, sometimes the small images and the small scraps of paper, they get lost in a big piece. That's another reason I like these little small journals. It gives me something to do with the little leftover scraps. All these have different types of glues on them. That's been one of the problems that I've had with working with collage, is never knowing which glue to use. So I use all different types. It depends on what I want that image to do or what I want that page to do. I will use the matte medium if I want to coat the entire image. This is also a gloss medium. Now, glue stick, I have used this, but the image does not always stay on as long as I would like. These are the products that I use if I coat the image afterwards in the entire page. If I just want an image on and I don't want any wrinkling and I don't want it on the rest of the page, I'll use PVA or this zip dry glue. These are all good as well. So I'm going to show you how to complete putting your journal together. Once these have dried, you're going to take them and fold them back into the original. Place them in your toilet paper cover. Now these are going to have paint on them and you can decorate them any way you'd like. We're just going to kind of eyeball it and place them together here. And if you haven't used a crocodile, you can use a lot of different hole punches, but I love this crocodile. No matter how thick, it's going to punch real easily through your paper, and you just punch a hole in that, and then you're ready to connect it with a brad, and you've got a mini journal. And I want to show you some of the ones I've completed. These are 3 different ones that I continue working in. This one in particular is pictured in this book. This is the book that has this process in it. Plus I've got a lot of other ways to add journaling and create books with this. So this is Stash and Smash by Design Originals. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.